Welcome to A Moment in Time with Taylor. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching on the replay. Thanks for watching live. If you're new, feel free to follow me. I'm Taylor. Nice to meet you. I'd love to learn more about you, so feel free to comment who you are, where you're from, if this is your first time, and if you do any investing, let us know that too. You can support this channel over at femyoga.com by clicking the support button, and there's a lot of different rewards, a lot of different levels that you can get involved with, and it really helps us to keep this kind of content going out there for free to anyone who wants to watch on the internet. Hi everyone. Hey. Who is the first comment to the broadcast? Let's see. Katie, hi. Hey, Josh. Oh, Josh, before I forget, I was just noticing that you are actually at $25 from the last 30 days, which means that you have access to our private Discord group chat now, but I don't know the best way to get in touch with you because I looked you up on Twitter, but the username webj0219, I didn't know if it was you because there was only like one follower or something like that, but it looked like Dr. Cosmitas had been talking to this user before, so I thought maybe it was you. But yeah, so everyone who's at $20 or more from the last 30 days gets access to our private Discord group chat. And I go in there ahead of time and kind of say like when we're going live and if there's changes with the other content creators' schedules, if they're going live at different times, we make announcements in there. So it's just a little bit like of an inside scoop. Super Fro, thank you for the first super hearts of this broadcast. My favorite Fro, I love you, hello. I used to think I was indecisive, but now I'm not too sure. I like that joke a lot. Actually not working to be here. What do you mean? Like you're at work but you're not doing your work, or like you finally don't have work so you can be here, or like you just like walked out because you're like, Taylor's live, I quit? Hey Mark, how are you? Well, hopefully this can help you to figure out how to grow your money over a very long period of time, though. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme, and this is based on a book that I read maybe now a couple months ago called Invested by Danielle Town, who is the daughter of Phil Town, who wrote the book called Rule Number One Investing, based on Warren Buffett, the chairman of Berkshire Hathaway, on his principle, which is that the first rule of investing is don't lose money. And that's actually pretty much exactly what we're focusing on tonight with our final episode of this series. We've been working our way through this book over a few weeks, and we are now at the end. So we're going to go over what they call the expensive errors checklist. And this is something that once you've done all the other things we've talked about in all the other episodes in this series, which you can find really easily on YouTube, which is Fem Yoga over on YouTube as well. We're now checking in. We're checking to make sure we did everything right through the whole process, and then we're also making sure that we don't make mistakes that other people have made in the world, so that we kind of learn from other people's mistakes and we don't have to make the same ones, right? It's like standing on the shoulders of giants, right? Hey Finley. Hey Ball. Sorry if I missed anyone. You're looking up your username, all right? Where are you? This is Fem Yoga. Hey, welcome. You're here. WebJ number 1388. I'm doing it right now. I don't care that I'm live. Josh has contributed over $25 to the channel over the last 30 days. So if you don't want me to do this, if you go to this website, streamlabs.com/femyoga, and send $25 or more, I'll stop. All right, WebJ number, oh wait, this isn't the right, I gotta find add friend, here we go. Number 1388. Is that right? Send friend request? I don't know if it's working. I don't know how to work Discord. It's not finding anyone with that name. How can I message you? Want me to just email your PayPal email? Not right now, but thanks, Chubbeans. It's okay. Thank you, Fro. Hey, Kyle. Welcome. All right. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't find you. I thought that would be easier, but I don't know how I feel about Discord. Do you guys use it at all? I think that I don't like it very much. It's too hard to find people on there and add friends, but it's a nice video chat feature, I think. All right. Expensive errors checklist. Let's get into it. So we've gone through a lot of this already. Like I said, if this is your first time here, you might want to watch some of the replays and get more acquainted with what we've gone through on this book, but I am going to be flying through a quick overview, so just fasten your seatbelts, hold on tight, and if you get like one little piece of knowledge from this broadcast, it was worth it, and you can support the channel at the website or with Super Hearts. This is my job, X-Rider. Yes, it is. Jaws Shark. Okay, thank you. But yeah, we are going to have beer after we finish this. That's going to be my reward for finishing this. I went to the store today and I bought 15 pups, which is Wolf Pup Beer, which is the same username as one of the girls here on Periscope. That's one of my best friends. Tweet Wolf Puppy is her Twitter username. On here, she's Wolf Puppy, and we love her. And we were in Los Angeles one time and we found a beer called Wolf Pup while we were together. Neither of us had ever heard of it. It was a very special moment, and now I drink it in her honor as often as I get a chance to. So I actually found Wolf Pup sold locally to where I live, so now I can enjoy it anytime. Yeah, it's weird for like finding people on, right? For like, it's like if you're not already in the same server and you can just click them, it's like to find a friend is actually weirdly hard. Yeah, they sell Wolf Pup at the store. Yes. I don't know if I should say the name of the store. I would happily tell you, Josh, because I know you're kind of local. But Finley, thank you for the super hearts. Okay, I didn't find it. Katie told me about it. Yes, Kyle, moving up in the world. I love it. Hey, Suzanne, how are you? I know some of you guys are here to learn about investing. Thank you, Finley, top contributor of the broadcast. Thanks for the regular hearts on Periscope as well. And first comment on YouTube, Chicken on Biscuits. He says hides on YouTube watching Periscope. What happened to my tan? The last 2 days I missed the sun. I like went out there. It was like an hour before sunset, and the building next to the pool blocks all the sun, and all the trees blocks the sun. I got like a little tiny bit of sun today, but I'm hoping I took a little nap before this broadcast so we could have some fun tonight, but then I wouldn't have to sleep as long, and then I would have more time tomorrow to get in the sun because I totally need it. But I did buy my gun today. What else did I do? I went to the library. I got some books I've been wanting to get. I got a little bit of sun. I read a couple chapters of one of the books I picked up. I can search myself. Might be at the beer store. Okay, yes. I can tell you the name too when we figure out a way to communicate. So I'll email you on the PayPal email, and then I'll just send you a link to our Discord server. Yeah, so I got a Sig Sauer 365, and my class is tomorrow. Hey, Chris. But that's the thing is, like, I don't know how I'm supposed to conceal carry in an outfit like this. I mean, it's like so tight. I can't, there's nowhere to put a gun. Maybe on my leg? Let's see. It would be like, it'd be rubbing me though. It's not, I don't know. I did not name my gun, no. My little friend. Hey Al, how are you? Hey Chris, how's it going? Yeah, my dad said you can never go wrong if you buy a Sig, so that's what I got. And some of you guys on here were recommending it too. You gotta dress frumpy to concealed carry. I know, it sucks. Hey Georgie boy, how are you? Hey. Garter or in your bra? Well, I don't wear a bra, but also there's nowhere to put a gun here. Hi Al, how are you? It's been a while. Me and Al did Taco Tuesday in Los Angeles together before. The gun's for self-defense, Suzanne. I weigh about 90 pounds and I live alone, and I do a lot of things alone. I travel. I mean, traveling is hard to do with a weapon, but I like, I go for walks, and I like to go out to eat and just kind of like be out alone sometimes, and I don't have a lot of confidence in my ability to defend myself. Even though I took self-defense classes, jiu-jitsu classes, I still don't feel very confident, so it's for self-defense. Hey Lex, thank you. Hey Bud Tenders, how's it going? How's everybody doing tonight? All right, expensive errors. Sorry guys, I know, this always happens. Live streaming, it's beautiful. I'm looking Latina because my hair is half up. Buy boots and stuff it in there. Just wear, oh yeah, I guess I could wear, like some sexy boots and have the gun in there. It'd be kind of hard to get to, but Taco Tuesday, how the hell do you remember that? Color me impressed. I don't know, because that was the only time we ever hung out. Hey Tyla, and that's what we did. We had tacos on a Tuesday. Bodyguard roommate, well that would be awesome. I would love to have a bodyguard slash driver slash person to hold the camera and point it at me and follow me around. Basically just like an assistant. Open boots. Open bots. Okay, expensive errors. Do not make these mistakes with investing. We've gone over all of this, but we're gonna fly through it really quickly here. And when we're done, we're gonna have some beer. Uh, Brandon, hi, how are you? Your name escaped me for a minute. I was going to say Spellman. Hey, Spellman. Got you. Yes. All right, Chris, you're going to be here soon. That's good. A lady in boots. You got me there. You're like Batman, but you're combat superhero. Awesome. Thank you. It'll be I'll get a Fem Yoga logo put onto the gun. Hey, Steph. Hi. I cannot believe we're going so soon. What are reef shoes? What are reef shoes? I have no idea. I'm good, Brandon. How are you? Don't spend all your money traveling to ladies in boots. What the hell? I mean, I don't know how much I could afford to pay you as my assistant, but how about like $100 a week? Georgie, thank you for the super hearts. Thank you, Georgie, for contributing to the Bodyguard Fund. Appreciate that. Just water shoes? Okay. I have water shoes somewhere, I think, but I might have got rid of them. I don't know. I'll have to go check. We can order some on Amazon. Okay. If you have Prime, then I'll just give you the money for them because I don't have Prime, so they might not come fast enough. Pay you in gum? I will definitely pay you in gum. We have a deal. Wait, how much gum? Yeah, thanks, Al. Yeah, I've been, oh wait, Al, your name is different. You changed your name. Trigo? You'll be my assistant for 10 cents? 10 cents? Okay, Tyler, you're hired. You're both hired. You guys are very cheap. I pay you in gum and dimes. I'm happy. I'm a happy girl. I'm a happy business owner right now. Oh, that's a different Al. Oh my gosh. What's happening right now? Wait, Al Trigo? Wait, who's that? Ooh, Suzanne! Suzanne said you could put the gun in your hair. I kind of like that. I wonder if there's any way to pull that off. Just like have it tucked up in there. I don't know if I have enough hair for that. I get some hair extensions just so I can have my gun in there. I'll have like the Amy Winehouse, like the big beehive looking thing, and like just pull the gun out. That's a different Al. Have I met that Al? That Al said I look different since the last time we hung out, but Al Trigo? Do I know you? I'm sorry, man. I usually have a pretty good memory. Just refresh my memory and I'll remember you, I'm sure. Remind me what we did. All right. Are we ever going to get to this? This is how we always goes in this channel. We're like, we were going to talk about investing. Now we're talking about hiding guns in our hair. Thank you, Steph. I love you so much. I left your broadcast because I got an audio message and I forgot to go back in. I'm sorry. Were you live when I went live? Investing, mistakes, right. Ow, thank you. Yes, okay. And yes, I have started investing a little bit, but this book has made it really, really practical. We've gone over valuation, and for this series, we've just been focusing on the company Twitter, but I've been adding more and more companies to my watch list and wish list, and I'm going to run them all through the same kind of protocols. So I'll keep you guys informed as we do that organically, but for this series, this is our last episode, and we might start it eventually. Much investing, yes. No errors. Much investing, 0 errors. Pat! Hi, Pat. You didn't miss much, but I did hope you'd slide in. Yes, investing. Yes, investing. Okay. Okay, so some of the first expensive errors is that you are on the edge or outside of your circle of competence. So if you remember, we talked about the circle of competence being a company that is within these 3 circles. And I don't know if I remember all 3 circles, so let's see if I can find the picture as I talk. One of the circles is where do you spend your money? Another of the circles is how do you make your money? And I forget the third one, so let me just quickly grab it. Circle of competence. So the first principle, according to Charlie Munger, who is basically Warren Buffett's right-hand man, is that you have to be able to understand the business. It has to be within your circle of competence, which, there it is. What do you vote for with your money? I love that term. That's actually how I describe it as well. I've actually done a broadcast about that. Where do you make your money? And then about what are you passionate? About what are you passionate? This is a good kind of first stepped into investing and picking a company that you might be interested in, for me, Twitter is the perfect example of a company that meets all three of those for me. I make my money through Periscope, which is owned by Twitter. I vote for Periscope by spending my money, I vote for Twitter by spending my money on Periscope through the form of Super Hearts. And I also spend a lot of my time on there, and I think time is money. And 3, about what am I passionate? If you don't know me, then you might not know this, but if you do, I am very, very, very passionate about live streaming, which again, I do primarily through Periscope and watch on Periscope, which is owned by Twitter. So for me, Twitter was an obvious first pick. And I also actually had bought some Twitter prior to reading this book in August of 2017. And since I made that purchase, it's gone up almost 100%. Actually, I haven't checked the stock price today. Let's check it. Let's check it. I bought it at $18. It's now $34.08. So I've almost doubled my money in just over a year. Oh, thank you, Chris. So nice. I've met Chris, Rain Football, one of my favorite people. Make sure you're following him. Steph Taylor Live, I met her. Follow her. Follow everyone who sent Super Hearts. I met Georgie. I haven't met Finley yet, but I hope I do. Abdullah, thank you for the Super Hearts. I haven't met Superfro. Alex! Привет, I didn't see you. Sorry. Spasiba for the Super Hearts. I met Al in person, Al Capico. I can't believe I haven't met Josh. We only live a few hours apart. I met Pe in person. Oh my God, I met Donna. Can't believe I haven't met Katie. I met David Dunn. Oh my God, I've met so many of you in here. I met Mark Gage. You ran out of data, Mark. I'm sorry, you're getting throttled. How do you even start investing? Personally, I would recommend that you read this book, to be honest. I don't get anything if you buy this book or read this book. I really think it'll benefit you, and it's really benefited me. And I practice what I preach. I'm not just like, this isn't just a book review. I'm like, oh, it's an interesting book. Like, I actually am using this now for my investing practice. And right now, I feel like Twitter is actually overpriced. I wouldn't actually buy it right now, but I'm going to keep an eye on it. And the moment that there's a good buying opportunity, I will intend to buy more, as long as the story of the company doesn't change. And we'll talk about when to sell a stock at the end of this episode, or at the end of the content. Am I making bank? I make good money through this. Tyler, thank you for the Super Hearts. Through Periscope, through my live streaming company, I've only invested $500 in the stock market, and that was last year, and now it's worth almost $1,000. But making $500 in a year isn't really making bank, but the percentage-wise, it's really good. So if you want to know how to start investing, you can also watch this series. I've gone through this whole book piece by piece, and I'm trying not to spend too much time on each section, but here I am kind of reviewing it all. But that's the circles of competence. So you want to make sure that you are within your circle of competence where you can understand this company. It's something that you're familiar with. It's not too complex, too hard, too confusing, and it's not too boring and dry, and like there's no way you can even know what this company is about because it's just so boring. So we're all going to invest in different companies. So what's a good buy for me is not necessarily a good buy for you, because you can't really understand the company, or you're not really interested in it, so you won't stay on top of the news. And then when an event happens that puts it on sale, so you should buy some, or an event happens that changes the story of the company and now you should sell it, you're not really going to be aware because you're not keeping track of it. Am I skipping? It looks skippy on mine. We got you, girl. You give us more than we give you, in my perspective. Thank you, Abdullah. I appreciate that. If you guys do like this channel and benefit, whether it's from my shows or any of the other girls on this channel, if you haven't realized, we now have 6 other content creators on this channel. And if any of them have helped you in any way, please, please, please write us a success story so I can put it up on the website, femyoga.com. If you go to the website and click contact, you can see all the different ways to reach out to me. I'll get it. You know, whether you send me a message on Instagram, Twitter, an email. I check all my messages every Saturday, every week, and all my comments on YouTube. So whatever platform you like, just go. I'm even on Discord. I should put a link to my Discord on my website. Okay, sorry, thinking out loud here. And then you can kind of just share how the channel has helped you, and that'll help people who are deciding whether or not they want to get involved in the channel and in supporting. They can kind of see like what impact it's really having on the world, rather than just me saying, oh, a lot of people say a lot of nice things. You don't want to be working when you're 80. Yeah, that's so true. I mean, if you just have a standard job and you're not making like, you know, $500,000 a year right now, and you just have like a standard 401k plan, and the rest is going into your savings account, assuming that you're not in debt and you're saving, you're losing money. I mean, you're gonna work forever, like Josh said. Like, you're gonna be like that greeter at Walmart, like in your 70s or 80s, because your retirement is not gonna last, and the Social Security benefits, all of that, it's just not gonna, because life expectancies are longer than they've ever been, which is great. But as you age, your life actually costs more too, like the medical expenses, medical equipment, if you need like a walker or a wheelchair or a caregiver to come in and assist you, whatever. Definitely don't even get me started on nursing home care, the cost of that. So you want to be able to be well taken care of. You want to be comfortable when you get to your old age, so you want to be able, you don't want to be like, feel stressed out financially and have to go to work. I don't think, I personally, let me instead of say you, I'll just say that's not something that I want. So that's why I'm interested in investing. And I have a lot of great friends who are investors, and they seem to enjoy it too. And they really love this book too, because this is way more in depth than most people really take their investing practice. 401k is kind of investing. Yeah, it is. It's a form of investing for sure, but the return you get on a 401k is minimal. It might offset inflation, which is about 3% per year in American dollars, but it's not gonna do what Twitter did for me in the past year. It's not gonna go up 100% in a year. Every year you're not gonna get 100% return. I mean, most investments aren't gonna get you that either, but what we're trying to do is grow our money faster. And if you know the power of compounding, 10% of our money this year, 10% of that higher amount next year, and then 10% of that higher amount the following year, and then it's a higher amount, and it's still, if you're still just getting like a 10% return each year, that power of compounding, the sooner you get invested in the company, the more powerful that is in the long term. So we're thinking long term here. This is buy and hold investing. This is value investing. This is not day trading. This is not buy something today, get paid out tomorrow or next year. Even though I'm saying that I've made that much money in the year, that's not true, because I haven't sold it. So if I sold it right now, then I would realize those gains, but I don't intend to sell it because I don't see anything really bad happening for Twitter. My concern is not that Twitter is going to have a crash and an issue, but that the market is going to crash, that we're at an all-time high, and that we're at basically like the top of a bubble, and we're due for an economic crash. So that will cause all of the stock market to take a hit. However, that's only going to last a few years. I'm in my late 20s. I don't really need to touch that money for a long time. So at the few years it takes for the crash to recover, I basically just hold it through that. But what I want to do is buy more when it crashes. The only thing I might try to do is sell it right before the crash, if I can kind of gauge that right, just because I have made such a great return on my money, and then take the cash and buy more at the lower price. But that's a very idealistic idea. Like, for me to be able to predict the crash is unlikely. Like, anybody can, People always say that the things are going to happen, and, occasionally, if you say that the crash is coming for a long enough time, eventually you can say, yeah, I was right, because it came, but it's like, really, did you predict it? Berkshire Hathaway went crazy on real estate during the last crash. Yeah, real estate's a great investment. But so actually, instead of saying it's a great investment, I'm reading another book right now called The Only Investment Guide You'll Ever Need. It's written by Andrew Tobias. It was first published in like 1979, but it's been revised and updated pretty, like, not every year, but every few years. I think the last one was 2015, the last edition, and that's what I've been reading. Hey, Chicken on Biscuits. And sorry, I lost my train of thought because my good friend Doop came in. They like 10x'd their real estate during 2009 to 2011. Yeah, because it crashed. Yeah, it crashed hard. The whole market did, really. Beanie Baby investors are still waiting for a payout. Okay, where was I? Sorry, totally lost my train of thought. Real estate. So in that book, The Only Investment Guide You'll Ever Need by Andrew Tobias, he says that real estate is not an investment, it is a business. So when you buy real estate, it is a bit to manage real estate, so to search for property, it's at least a part-time job, right? To look for good deals on properties, to go check them out, to purchase them, to get the people to maintain and care for them, to find tenants, to keep the tenants happy, to take care of emergencies that the tenants have. Sure, you could pay a property manager, but then you're managing that employee or a contractor for you. It's a business. And sure, if you have the time, resources, the temperament for that business, sure, run whatever business you want to run, but realize that it's not just something that is like gonna make you money without you having to do anything, like potentially a stock could. Now, investing is a job too. You still have to spend the time to invest in research the company and study. But the thing is, like, if I buy it or if I don't buy it, I'm not really, it's not like a business where it's like I have like time constraints, I got to do this right now. You could miss opportunities to invest or miss opportunities to sell, but it's not really like a business. You don't really have to have like a staff and worry about like keeping people happy. And you know, you're like always on the customer side as an investor, right? You're like, the company is trying to keep you happy. You're not really trying to keep the company happy. So it's that change of where rather than you doing a business, you're like, you know, you're in a different position. You're in an investor position. I thought that was a cool way that he put that, because I've had this issue with real estate myself, and I'm like, what is it? Why does everyone say real estate is this great investment? And I'm kind of like, it doesn't appeal to me because of the amount of maintenance that it takes, because of how much work and energy and time it takes. And it's a business. You have to run that business. So you wouldn't do rentals though. You wouldn't do rentals. What would you be investing in real estate for? That's interesting. You think real estate's a good investment, but you wouldn't do rentals. I don't know what that means. Do I buy Twitter every month? No, I think Twitter's overpriced right now. Basically, send all your money to Taylor. Thank you, Chris. BEHMyoga.com. There's so much work in real estate. Thank you, Steph. Thoughts on investing in corporate cannabis? Actually, Al, I think that's a good question. I get that question a lot. Personally, I have not found any companies that stand out to me as something that I should invest in with my money. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. I don't do this professionally. I'm just starting to research and learn it myself. I like to learn. I'm kind of like a perpetual student, and this topic has really resonated with me and found a happy place in my soul. So I think that over the next years in my entire life, I'll become a much better, more seasoned investor. Maybe I'll become a financial advisor, an accountant, or whatever. But right now I just have basic knowledge, and my Periscope app just crashed. So give me a minute because I lost your comments. Don't know why it does that sometimes. I'm gonna take a sip of water. But I looked at 10 to 15 different pot stocks as recommended by my good friend Chris from Indoor Smokers. So if anyone would know, I think he would know. But, you know, the Canadian cannabis industry, it's like their government is so involved in regulating and managing every aspect of their society that, to me, I just wouldn't want to invest in that, in that country in general, but probably. And then, because it's the opposite of like capitalism, right? It's the opposite of like it was going to respond to the market. But even here, it's highly regulated in America as well, and it's still federally illegal. So I know that the industry is going to be huge, and it's already becoming huge, and it's definitely going to be this. I think it'll be a bubble. I think that's what we're going to see, kind of like what happened with cryptocurrency. Whenever, oh my God, all of a sudden everyone got really excited about it, and then it had its natural crash to kind of a more reasonable level. I think that's what will happen with them. And what you'll find is you'll find companies that prove themselves over the long term that become good investments. But right now they're all brand new. These are all brand new companies. Not all of them, but in America especially. So I don't have any financials to go off of here. All I have is like their website, and their websites all kind of suck, if you ask me personally. I wasn't blown away by anything that I found about any of those companies. None of them stood out from each other. They all kind of seemed the same. I'm probably taking too long to answer that question. I'm personally not ready to buy in that industry yet, but I think I will in the future. Most companies are you talking about 401ks? Yeah, definitely. If you have a company that matches your money for a 401k, I don't know why you wouldn't do it. Expensive errors, avoid investing in smart water, drink tap water. Colin, this came free. This comes free every time I get a Walmart pickup order. So I order my groceries online because I get all organic groceries, and sometimes the Walmart I go to doesn't have them there. So I order pickup, and they like get it there somehow. They get it from other Walmarts or something. And then when you go to the parking lot, you park in a spot, they bring the groceries out to your car, and they give you a cold smart water. I'm like, Walmart, I love you. Shout out to Sam Walton. Made in America, the creator of Walmart and Sam's Club. This is a pretty good book if you're interested in biographies of successful people and business owners. It's a good one. It's a really common business book you'll find recommended by a lot of people. It's called Made in America. Ferd Turgeson. I love that name. Hey, wait, is that Fuster? Oh, First Last. Oh, hi. Sorry, I thought you were someone else. Oh, Ferd. I didn't even see your comments. Great book. Oh, you like that book too, Josh? Good. All right. So that's the first expensive error, is investing outside of your, or on the edge of your circle of competence. Another error, or basically this is a checklist. So he calls this the expensive errors checklist. This is what we do. We're making sure that we're not messing any of this up before we purchase a stock. Jack Welch? Who's Jack Welch? What has he written before? If you have book recommendations for me, I would love to hear them. Please send them to me on Twitter or Instagram. However you want to contact me, just give me a link to the book or something and I'll go check it out. All my contact info is on the website. Twitter, Instagram is FemYogaTaylor. Okay, so the second one would be no gurus are buying this. So you'll find your own investment gurus as you become more immersed in the financial world. Right now, we're pretty focused on Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger, but you'll find others that you like and resonate with. For me, Phil Town is becoming one of my new investing gurus, and you're gonna find others, and then you just basically track them to see what are they buying, what are they selling, when, and kind of like copy them. Basically, if they have a proven track record and they've been doing this for 50 plus years, why try to guess better than they do? In my opinion, that's kind of what they talk about here. You kind of like see, okay, we're all on the same page. We all think this is a good buy. We're all buying it. Cool. That kind of backs up and bolsters your reasoning. If they're not buying it and you think it's such a good buy, kind of figure out, okay, why aren't they jumping on this ship? Why aren't they buying Twitter right now? Why are they selling it off? Because if you look, you can see, who owns what parts of these companies, and it's amazing the amount of money that gets transferred between these companies. It will blow your mind. Warren Buffett is God. Hey, Jared. Oh, thanks, Al. No, I'm not going out. I put this on for this broadcast, actually. It's Friday night. I figured, hey, and this is our final episode of this series, so I wanted to get a little bit dolled up. Just a bit. The next one is, it's not a business you enjoy studying. I touched on that a little bit earlier. The fourth is that the industry or company or product is not easy for you to understand. I talked about that a little earlier as well. The next one is that you did not do an inversion. An inversion we actually haven't covered yet. I thought that was interesting because she talks about the checklist first and then she tells you how to invert the story. So we'll talk about inversions in more depth after we go through the checklist. The next one is that the industry is on the decline. So say you're about to invest in, if you're about to invest in Blockbuster right after, Netflix became a big thing and Redbox, and, it's not really a good time to invest in a company that's dying, like right now we have electric cars becoming potentially more prevalent, maybe, certain like General Motors and companies that are not in the electric cars. I don't know, General Motors might. General Motors probably isn't a good idea. This is just an example that I'm trying to use here and probably failing. You just don't want to invest in something that's on the decline, like, if you were going to invest right now in like flip phones, it's not really on the decline. It's kind of already gone, right? Not that you need a real job, but why haven't you ever ventured into the financial world? You're fantastic at this stuff. I never really was exposed to it before. I was raised by a lower middle class income single mom who is not really a finance person. And in school, they never expose you to any type of financial lessons or education at all. Did you guys ever notice that? Like, we didn't learn how to manage taxes. I think we learned how to balance our checkbook at some point, which I was like, why are we doing this? That's like, investing in checkbook companies right now. The layman's grit. But I am venturing into the financial world right now. So this is a great way that I plan to diversify my income for sure. Thanks for complimenting me. All right, next one is that it has an unfriendly union. Actually, don't really know even what they mean by that. I don't know if they mean like labor union or if they mean like a merger, like a bad merger. I don't know. Just the basics at school. I don't even remember that. I don't remember any classes about and maybe it's because of where I grew up. It was a pretty low income area. You put 12,000 in Apple 7 years ago at 56 a share. Now it's mid 80K. Nice. Unfriendly union. Yeah, I don't know. Ferd. I don't know. So there's your ex-wife coming up again, right? Exactly. They taught us that X equals 3, but not how to invest. It's insane. That is insane, right? Samsung just released a foldable tablet phone to devs. So flip phones are making a comeback. Yes. And it pays a dividend. Bud Tender, what pays a dividend? Oh, Apple. Yes. So that's a way that you can reduce your basis in the company. So you're reducing the amount of money that you have invested in the company every time you receive a dividend, which is great. Twitter actually does not issue dividends, which I'm okay with because there is a little caveat with dividends is that if they don't, am I crashing for you guys? I don't know why it keeps looking like it's crashing on my side. Hey Eric, thanks for watching on YouTube, helping us get closer to our monetization goal. We are not getting there anytime soon. We only had like 36 hours of YouTube content watched last week, which made me really sad. So please watch my YouTube channel, Fem Yoga. Anyway, why do I keep losing my train of thought? It's running smooth for you guys? That's so strange. Yeah, mine just said like lost connection, trying to reconnect. But I'm not dropping any frames, so sorry for interrupting my own self. This is why I would love to have an assistant to just kind of like manage all this stuff and I wouldn't have to pay attention to dropped frames. What do I invest in? So far I've only bought $500 worth of Twitter. What was I saying, you guys? I'm sorry. Hey Vix, how are ya? Hey Darren, good to see you over on YouTube too. Thank you. Said Fem Yoga number 1. You're number 1, Darren. You're number 1. You're actually number 3 comment on YouTube, but I know you could be number 1 next time. I'm good. How are you, Darren? I'm trying to remember what I was just saying because I feel like it was probably interesting, but maybe not. Hey, Waken. I don't see anyone feeding me my line, so I might just go to the next checklist. And when I remember what I was saying, we'll go back to it. So demand for the product in 10 years is uncertain. Oh, that's interesting. I like that one. So we want to look out 10 years into the future. Is this product still in demand? Sports gambling will be 10 billion plus according to Morgan Stanley. There's a company right now called Wager, which allows you to do sports gambling using cryptocurrency. I interviewed one of the founders of that company here on this channel a few weeks back. You can find it in my replay or on YouTube is probably the easiest way to watch replays. What's my employment history ever been offered a job on here? A job on here? You mean like by a viewer? Not anything legitimate, but I've worked for over 10 years. This company I've been running myself for about 2 actually. Now actually it is more than 2 years. September was when I quit my full-time job where I worked for 6 years doing durable medical equipment, medical coding and billing type work. I wanted to buy that company that I worked for, but I don't like debt. I don't like taking loans. And the cost was out of my budget. I can't, I signed a non-disclosure agreement. I can't say how much it was, but it was way more than I have. So I actually got into my yoga business thinking, okay, I'll generate income through this and then go back and buy that company. I still think I might get into business acquisitions. I think that might be a nice supplement to my journey, my wealth journey. But I'm pretty sure they want to sell soon. But anyway, yeah, so that's my employment history. Before that, I worked a lot of different jobs. I was a district manager for Vector Marketing. I set a record in a new district, a new area in New York. And prior to that, they were just like, working at like the movie theater and pizza shops. And I'm sure I'm forgetting on the pet store. Let's laugh our way to the bank. We're not going to crush anyone. Hey, Sean. One advice, do not put all your eggs in one sector alone. Diversify. Yes, I like that first last. The new book I'm reading, hey Katie, thank you, Bud Tenders. The new book I'm reading, The Only Investment Guide You'll Ever Need, he talks about investing in timber, actually, in wood, which I really wanted to text my ex about because he was always like really obsessed with wood. He was talking about how it could be a good investment, and I was always kind of laughing about that. And then I read this book and I was like, because they say it's like a 4% return. One company they were talking about, it's like 4% return each year. So it's just like, it's like a mutual fund or something. It's not like It's not really stock investing, although it is stock investing, but it's a little bit different. It's not quite as like volatile or risky. Acquisitions. Thank you. Yeah, so one of my previous business mentors was actually in business acquisitions. His name was Carl Allen. He owns Ninja Acquisitions, and he's based out of the UK. He's actually a friend of Tai Lopez, who I was following for a while and still want to meet. And Tai recommends that you reach out to 10 people you'd like to be mentored by and just reach out to them and just try to get like a 30-minute phone call with them. And through that process, I ended up linked with this guy, Carl Allen, and we did monthly calls every month for a while until he actually lost a close friend in the shootings that were in London, or was it London? It's escaping me right now. At the Ariana Grande concert, do you guys remember that? He actually had like a close family friend that was lost in that shooting, so he withdrew from the mentorship relationship after that, and I miss him still. I hope that we reconnect someday because I'm still really interested in acquisitions, but now I'm just taking a trip down memory lane. Sorry. Hey Devin, how am I always so positive and pleasant? I read a book about how to do it. Boom. And my life is kind of awesome. I'm pretty lucky. But this is it's called Positivity by Barbara Fredrickson. Sorry, let me keep her name on here if you want to grab a screenshot. Positivity by Barbara Fredrickson, and it's all about positive psychology, and as long as you have 3 positive interactions and experiences for every 1 negative, you're pretty much on an upward spiral of your life rather than like a downward negative one. Hey Erin, happy Friday. I was talking about you yesterday. Somebody said errands. I think it was Katie, because there's this meme where somebody texted someone, I have to run some errands, AARONS, and they're like, who's Aaron and why is there more than one of him? You want to read the frog book? Yeah, Eat That Frog. That's another good one. I think that's down there too, or is it up here? It's right here. Brian Tracy. That's a perfect way to loop this back around. Well, not to investing, but Brian Tracy, Carl Allen, and Tai Lopez were all in the same room at one of Tai Lopez's masterminds, and they were like chatting and hanging out, and I was just like, why wasn't I there? Oh my God, I belong with these people. Like, I was so fangirling when he told me that. This is one of my favorite books. Really, really great book about how to prioritize your day and get important stuff done every single day. Because you can't get everything done that you want to do, so you just prioritize it each day, and you can get a lot more done than you probably think you can. And you can at least get the most important thing done every day. If you're hungover, you could use a glass of scotch. Do you have a glass of scotch? Sonam, hey! Thanks for the super hearts. Or you could try a shower. Have you showered? That always helps my hangovers. Also water and sleeping. Josh, thank you for the super hearts. You guys are awesome. Top contributor to the broadcast, WebJ. Thank you so much. Thank you also for being the top contributor in last night's pasta broadcast from Ruby Noosa. My parents have investments with a financial advisement company. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, see, that's the kind of thing I might be interested in too. It just depends on the specific companies, you know? Amazing mentors to have. I would love to mentor someone. I actually haven't had anyone really interested in being mentored by me. I think live streaming is still a pretty new concept to people, and I'm still actually pretty new to it myself. I haven't even been live streaming for 2 years yet. You should read that for me. You should read that for me. How much for a personal series of reading me that book with no... They want to retire soon and get a monthly check from their investments. Advice? They want to retire soon and get a monthly check from their investments. Tanisha, thank you for the super hearts. Well, I don't know exactly what you mean by that. I mean, I guess the only way to do that, like if they want to just sell it off like little bits each month, they would just sell like however much they wanted and whatever stock they viewed as being the most overpriced. This is just kind of off the top of my head. I've never really thought about this before this moment, so this is just brainstorming. Tanisha, hi, how are you? Just get on Scope and read me the book. I can't do that because of copyright laws. That's how I got shut down on YouTube for 3 months. Maybe I'm asking for you to mentor me. I'll be your first. Okay, Al. I mean, yeah, if you want to do the kind of things I'm doing, I would love to. I love sharing my knowledge with people. I wrote a book about how to make money on Periscope that launched in January of this year. So there's been new features and things that have come out since and things that have changed, but that book still fundamentally teaches you pretty much exactly how to do what I do. ¿Cuánto cuesta? En Prividad? I don't know. I'd have to think about that. It's better if you can convert it to dividend investments. If they pay out dividends, then they would already be receiving that. It will be personal, not private. Private, not public. Thank you, Sean. How are you? Is it Eat This Frog? It's Eat That Frog. Hey, Win Luann, how are you? Eat That Frog. Really, really, really awesome book. So for those of you who are at the level of like wanting to be, hey Josh, Turtle Gang! For those of you who are at the level of wanting to invest, I'm sorry that this is, we keep getting interrupted, but most people aren't at that level yet anyway. Most people are in debt. Most people are struggling. They hate their job. If this is you, if I'm describing you right now, don't invest. Do not invest your money. You need to save your money first. You don't invest. And this, I should have said this in the beginning, all this information is really for people who are saving a bunch of money and don't want that money to just disintegrate into thin air due to inflation. So they're looking for alternatives to savings accounts. So this is a higher level financial series that we're working on here, and most people I think are not in this category. So that's why I keep letting us go off on these side tangents, because I think that information we're talking about, positivity, not procrastinating, getting the most important thing done every day, the cannabis industry, things like that are more generally relevant to everyone. Get out of debt first, right? The P to E ratio means price to earnings. Dividends, I look at P and also PE. AT&T has good dividends. It's a personal scope they won't see. Alex, you bought my book, Bud Tenders? You did? When? I should have done that when I had mad dough in the bank. Because my book is sold through my website. It's not sold through anyone else, so I would know if anybody bought it. I should have done that when I had mad dough in the bank. Cheers. I know, Katie wants me to get through this quicker because we're going to drink beer afterwards to celebrate getting this broadcast done, and we're never going to do it because the conversation is always so good. And thank you everyone who's watching on YouTube. You swear that I'm Indian? Why? Indian? What do you mean, American Indian or India Indian? Why am I Indian? Where's Tiki when you need her? Is that donations? Omni Potentials, yes. So these are our sponsors from the last 30 days. So this isn't like right now. This is from the last 30 days, about a month. And it's in order of top contributors down. So we have Piney the Uni at the top, the Madam, and then Asif, Anthony, R.D. Baker, A-Train, Steve, Anonymous, love you Anonymous, Johnny Heavens, Finley, Trevor, Chris, Donna, James, Danny, Ryan, Josh, Neil, Dorita, another Asif, and more. Katie, stop. All right, Darren, we'll be here. My money saving. Yes, I save the vast majority of this money, for sure. I don't know about the vast majority. I do have my monthly bills, but that keeps the channel existing, so we gotta pay the bills, right? There's good debt and bad debt. People with good debt should invest. What do you mean good debt? Are you talking about like a mortgage on a home? I would pretty much never use the term good debt. I know people like the leverage of real estate and things. I'm maybe still in a novice part of my financial journey. I just do not like taking on any debt. I have like credit cards, you know what I mean? Like as long as you're paying it off each month and you're not accruing any interest, that you could be considering that maybe good debt. It's very temporary and it's not actually debt. You're just using it to accrue like points and get money back, cash back for your purchases. So we do shoot off the cash cannon every time we get 20,000 super hearts. So we are at 22,000. You are right, Win Luann. We're never gonna drink beer. Katie's gonna kill us. Thank you for the super hearts. Wait, first we gotta test this. Make sure my legs aren't gonna get chopped off. All right, turn your volume down. This is really loud. Oh wait, I'll mute it. I'll mute you guys. Thank you, Josh. Thank you, Alex. Spasiba. Thank you, Sonam, for the super hearts, and everyone else. Thank you. That last bill smacked me in the face. Thanks for the super hearts, guys. Let's just leave the money laying around. I like to do that sometimes. Okay. Are we here? Are we back? Can you hear me? Get some water. You're talking about real estate investing. Okay, NS. We were just talking about how real estate is a business. It's not really an investment because you have to work it to keep it going. But if you have the resources, time, and temperament to run a real estate business, even it's at least a part-time job to find properties, to find tenants, to manage property managers, to keep your tenants happy, to deal with emergencies. It's a business. Hey Flood, how are you? Oh, what time is it? 11:11 p.m. It's Friday night. Okay, it's not Saturday night. Oh, it's 11:11. Make a wish. Make a wish. Oh, okay, it's 11:12 now. We can stop wishing. All right. Hey, Stephanie. Thank you for the super heart. Stephanie also wants us to drink beer. Katie and Stephanie always. I stopped being fake. Thanks, Gudas. I've been working really hard just for you. Or are you commanding me to stop being fake? I love how this guy, he comes in almost every day and he just says fake. And I always yell at him and I go, this is real money. This is not fake. It's not always money. Sometimes it's like a smoothie that I'm drinking. I don't know. It's kind of fun. Like, we don't block every troll because sometimes it's actually amusing. Time for beer. And Flora wants us to drink beer too. Do you notice that the guys in the chat want to talk about investing and the women in the chat want to drink beer? Ladies, we got to get our money up. We got to stop letting the men run the world. We got to stop letting them have all the money. We got to drink our beer while we research our investment portfolios, okay? Compromise. It is about that time, Erin. Yeah, it's after 11, but we still have more to go over. First things first, it's eat that frog. You get the most important thing done first, and then the rest of the stuff that you do for the day is almost irrelevant. Beer. Beer. Stephanie's like, but really, where's your beer at? I'm cool with you getting money. I don't drink. Cool, Mark. That's fine. I mean, yeah, I was just trolling a little bit. That's my own personal, you can tell I have this, like, I have a little chip on my shoulder about women not making as much money as men, because I don't blame men for that, to be honest with you. Of course, there's societal, you know what I mean? Like, there is oppression in the world, right? And there's things like pregnancy. But I also know a lot of girls and I know a lot of guys, and most of the girls and guys, like, for the different age levels that I know almost no female business owners. The ones that I do are very minimally financially successful with their businesses. I know multiple male business owners who are successful. The only investors I know are male. All right, so now we got off on another tangent. Beer, let's do this. Fro, whose side are you on? Women, not girls. Whatever's between your legs, whatever you want to call it. Ladies, broads, madams, I don't know. You get what I'm saying, right? Josh says he tries to make as much money as I can. Well, I wonder if it's societal, like, men have this pressure to provide for their entire family, so there's like this expectation for them to not only be independent and care for themselves, but also care for their wife or future wife and children or future children, where women don't have that same pressure put on them. And when they're growing up, they're just not told the same things, you know? The same things aren't valued in the different genders. Understand the game, you'll understand how to make money. That's too vague for me, Sean. I like more concrete advice. So the people wanted Taylor to drink. I don't get it. What do you get out of that? So you have someone, I don't know what you mean, Deb. Well, as much as I can with sparing my body. Yeah, you want to make sure you take care of yourself. That might be why women live longer. Maybe they're a little bit better with self-care. There are bad men that use insecurity to hold back women. Yes, we have to make more money so we can buy the beers. Apparently women like beer. I'm sorry for that laugh, Al, but that was really funny. He's like, who's gonna buy the beer if we don't hustle? I often pay. When I was dating those guys off Bumble for a little while, I paid most of the time for the dates. Just to say. It's not all, you know, this is not a gender thing. And the men did not fight me on the bill either. Would I consider a franchise business? Absolutely. There's another great book called The E-Myth by Michael Gerber, and also Built to Sell by John Warrillow. Two of my favorite books for entrepreneurs if you run a business. These are books that basically teach you, especially this one, The E-Myth, that teaches you that basically you want to build your business, your small business, like a franchise. You want to envision that this business isn't going to need you to run itself one day, and build systems and processes to make that happen from day one, which is actually really hard. And I don't practice what I preach on that so much, but I'm working on it. So yeah, I would consider it. I mean, personally, I'm more of an entrepreneur spirit than a manager. I do like managing, but I really like creating my own ideas. And a franchise is like, there's so many rules, other people's rules and other people's ideas, and you have to follow them. And I'm just like, I don't like rules. Although for a borderline anarchist, I do have a lot of rules. Computers are the future, invest in computer tubes. Hey Joel, got any Dr. Seuss back there? I don't have Dr. Seuss, but I have this. I got this from Vicky the other day. Dory's Story. I can't really, it's probably copyrighted, so I won't read the whole thing, but I'll just read the first 2 pages. Dory is a little fish. She has trouble with her memory. To find out what happens next, make sure you purchase this book, Dory's Story, so that they don't sue me and shut me down for showing you that picture. Love you, Disney. Please don't come for me. Okay? I showed 1 page. Please don't shut me down. I've tried to grow my biz beyond just me a few times, but it's still me. Ah, that's tough. That is tough. Did you enjoy the Tampa Aquarium? I didn't go to the Tampa Aquarium. I actually didn't go to any aquariums. Hey, Matthew, do you have 900 economists in here? Yeah, if Russian bots are economists. Katie says, comment. How come my comments are stuck? I invest in doomsday bunker materials and perishable foods. You and my ex would get along great. Taylor is a franchise inventor, not a franchise renter. I love that. I love that. Who said that? Who is that? Aaron, thank you. I love that. How did you know that was my favorite movie? That's my favorite movie, Matthew. Finding Dory? That's my favorite movie. Any franchises in particular you like? I've actually never researched into franchises. I just like the franchise model. So I don't know. But I would not want to invest in a franchise that perpetuates things like animal abuse, like McDonald's or any kind of fast food restaurant, probably pretty much any of them. Pro tip, buy low, sell high. Joel, you are full of good advice today. Great advice. Okay. Let's get back to this so Katie doesn't kill us. Thank you, bud tenders. 1 year I got 3 crews going, but I was running around fixing everything. Yeah, read those books, Josh. Seriously, like, read those. Built to Sell and The E-Myth. The E-Myth was my personal favorite, but Built to Sell is right up there. Both of those books were recommended to me by Carl Allen, the guy I was telling you about, who owns Ninja Acquisitions. So it's good stuff. It's good stuff, guys. You're welcome. I kind of know you by now a little. Thank you. Shrek is the best. Okay, I do like Shrek. Shrek is a good one too. Shrek is that's a good point, Dub. Shrek is like, I have to watch them side by side and compare. But I liked how Finding Dory, like, it looped in everything from the first one. Does Shrek have a series? Is there more Shreks? Is there like Shrek 2? Have I seen any of these? All right, Katie's mad. Let's move on. You also want to make sure the industry rate of change isn't too high. Again, that's like what we're talking about, like things like what I'm talking about with the cannabis industry. Because there's so much change happening right now, it wouldn't be considered a value investment. It wouldn't meet this expensive heirish checklist. You would put it on your wish list or watch list and wait until it makes more sense and it's more stable. The industry is more stable. Shrek is a good one, actually. Fast food restaurants are horrible investments, in my opinion. Well, they make a lot of money. So if all you care about is return on your investment, you may be able to make good money off of investing in a franchise business. Hey, Greshlin, thanks for the super hearts. All right, Aaron. Awesome. We'll see you soon. But yeah, you want to, that's what we talk about. I don't know if she talks about it in here, but you want to make sure you're voting for a mission statement and a company that you really agree with, that your values align with their values, because otherwise it's kind of like blood money. And, you know, I'm not a very spiritual, religious person myself, but I believe a little bit in like bad juju, bad karma. You know, if you're making money off of like selling humans or something, or like, you know, slave labor, or what was the other? Animal abuse. Like, is that really gonna be good for you? You see your bank account going up, but like your soul is like gone. Puss in Boots. Okay. I liked How to Train Your Dragon. Not as much as the others, though. Hey, Britt, how are you? Okay, sorry, I'm not reading every single comment tonight because this is taking forever to get through, as normal. It's been an hour. It's been an hour, you guys. You guys, what the hell? We've made it through like 7 bullet points. Okay. Or if you did not read 10 years of footnotes in the 10K. 10 years of footnotes. So are they saying if you don't have if the company hasn't been around 10 years, you shouldn't invest in it? That's not true, because Berkshire Hathaway is invested in Twitter. Well, I guess Twitter, because Twitter went public in 2013, so that's only 5 years of 10K access. Midnight Jazz, thank you for the super hearts. How are you? Bank account goes up, but your soul goes down. Hey, we jinxed. I want a tattoo of Shrek and Donkey. Way to go, Taylor. Thank you, Fro. Wait, for what? Oh, for going an hour and not actually talking about anything in the book. The next part is the moat. So we talked about moats, which are the brand moat. Does it have a solid brand? The pricing moat. Does it have the best price of all of its competitors? It has the toll bridge moat, which is basically it's like the only way, it's very exclusive, it's the only way to a certain product due to maybe government regulations or something like that. We have the switching moat, which also brings into play network effects moat. So a moat is something that protects the company. Think of the company like the castle. The moat is that water around the company, and it can have up to 5 moats. 5 moats. So the more moats you have around your castle, the harder it is to really damage it, right? So the brand, like we were talking about, switching means, is it easy to switch away from this company? The harder it is to switch away, the less reason there is to switch away, the stronger the switching moat is. And then network effects is like the network that you gain access to through that company is also part of the switching moat. So if you like say, Twitter, you could easily use Instagram or Facebook or YouTube, but the network on Twitter, for me, I feel like is actually pretty unique because of celebrities. Because you can actually access celebrities, I believe, the easiest through Twitter. Facebook isn't really set up for that. YouTube isn't really set up for that. Instagram maybe more so than the other two, but still not like Twitter. I mean, I had Andy Dick on my show because of Twitter, not because of any other social media. And I've gone live on Instagram tons of times, and Andy Dick has never came into my broadcast. Twitter has a unique, Sonam had Deborah Messing retweet one of her broadcasts before and watch her replays. Deborah Messing is the woman who played Grace on Will and Grace. So, I think that's a pretty powerful moat there for Twitter. But anyway, this isn't about me making an argument for Twitter. It's just an example. And then the final moat I didn't mention is the secrets moat. Things like patents, company secrets, secret recipes, those kinds of things that keep the company protected from competition and make it a more durable company. So you want to check if the moats are intrinsic, if the moats are durable, if the moats are being widened, okay, so it's strengthening rather than becoming smaller. The big 4 numbers are not growing. I'll very, very briefly pull these up because I don't want to spend too much time on it, but I did do some Twitter valuations, and I worked pretty hard on it, so I don't mind showing it off for a minute, but I'm not going to go over all the details because that's what we did on our last episode of the series. So my Twitter spreadsheet, hopefully this will pull that up. Yeah. Oh, hey, you can't see me. Boop. Hey, guys. Had my little, what's that guy's name? The whistleblower guy, and you cover up, he put tape over his laptop camera, and he's like hiding out in Russia now. What about a goat versus a moat? Are they crocodile-filled moats? They should be if they're good ones. Historically, the forts had circles of villages. Ah, interesting. Thank you, Captain Obvious. You have cash everywhere. It's great. Yes. You're thinking of water sources, ideas for investing. Oh, interesting. Yeah, for like just basic investments. Hey, Kitty. Hello Kitty inspection. I don't have Hello Kitty stuff, Emily. I'm sorry, but I still love you. I still love you. I'm looking at the wrong camera. I'm sorry. Hey, I do love you. I love you. I love you. All right, so the big 4 numbers are net profit, revenue, equity, and operating cash. So you want to make sure those numbers are going up year to year to year. Oh. Hey. You have to examine if they have substitute moats. Substitute moats? What do you mean by that, Mark? The book value plus dividends in particular is not growing. That's the equity. Owner earnings and free cash flow are not predictable. I would say that as I read through this checklist, Twitter does not pass all of these tests, which means that you do not buy it. You do not buy it until it can pass all of these tests. So for me, it'll just be on my wish list, it'll be on my watch list. I'll run the numbers each year. I'll keep an eye on the quarterly reports, but I won't be buying it until it's a little bit more solid of an investment. Hey, Carlos. I already have some, but I'm just going to keep that and not change anything. Thank you, Emily, for sharing on Twitter. Cheap foreign competition is getting stronger, but hasn't reached the U.S. industry yet. Got to watch out for that. Oh, thanks, Al. I'll see you later. This is Invested by Danielle Town. But this checklist is from her dad, Phil Town, who wrote Rule Number 1 Investing. Sacrificial subcompanies. What do those have to do with moats? I love you, Emily. How are you? Emily told us about that cool place we ate in Anaheim. Jack Dorsey can't run Twitter and Square. One has to go. You think so, Bud Tenders? What makes you think that? He got fired from Twitter when it first started, even though he created it, because he kept leaving work early to go to work on fashion design and go to yoga classes. Freaking love Jack. All right, anyway, let's move on. We learned about that when we studied this next part, which was management. So the management of the company, which we'll talk about, it says if the CEO does not act like an owner. Now, Jack is the owner, so we're good there. The CEO puts themselves first, so they make sure they get big payouts rather than focusing on the company. As we know, Jack Dorsey refuses compensation. All right, cheerio, NS. Feel free to follow if you guys haven't already, just so you don't have to search for me. I actually can't put up the follow button, so you got to do it on your own. Zenobia, hi, I love your name, so pretty. The CEO glosses over problems. I think that's going to be a temptation of everyone. They don't want to highlight the problems because they don't want the investors to sell. Let me grab my other comments here. Okay. It says the CEO is selling too much stock. I don't know how you define too much. The company is buying back stock well above its value. The CEO is recently replaced. The debt is more than 2 years of free cash flow. Twitter definitely does not pass that test. The debt is increasing. They have loans that are expiring soon. They have loan covenants that are close to being breached by the company. And the ROE and ROIC are going down. So we studied those numbers here. The ROE is the return on the equity, and ROIC is the return on the invested capital. You don't see ROIC numbers here for me when I valued Twitter, because there is no return on the equity right now. It's a loss anyway. So the return on the invested capital is even worse, but because they're negative numbers, it actually looks like the numbers are better. So rather than me leaving those in there and being confused, I just leave that line blank when there is no return. When you're taking loss, you just don't even need to worry about the ROIC because there is no return. The point is it's zero. You're actually losing money on the invested capital in Twitter. What I think is that will change very soon. If you look at the numbers as it's gone from 2013 to 2017, they may even actually report earnings in 2018. But we'll see. We're actually not too far away. We're about 2 months away from their 2018 report. You feel like you're being quizzed, Carlos? I'm sorry. Thanks, Bud Tenders. Good night. Josh, he said good night, everyone. Never stop learning. Appreciate that, Josh. You too. You don't want homework? That's okay. You don't have to do this. You don't have to. This is just for people who want to do this. So if those numbers are going down, that's a red flag. You don't want to buy that company because that shows something is wrong with the management of the company. Twitter, the numbers are going up, but you still don't have a return yet. The CEO showing lack of faith is a sign of inside company weakness. For sure. The last part here, not the last part of the broadcast, but the last part of the checklist is pricing. One is you can't confidently calculate owner earnings. So we talked about owner earnings on here too. Owner earnings. I think it actually has its own. Oh yeah, here we go. Owner earnings right here. I felt pretty confident in that calculation, to be honest. Probably overly confident. I am an entrepreneur, as it is. Hey, Katie, thanks for watching on YouTube. She said, are we done yet? You don't want to pay more than the 10 cap price, or more than the 8-year payback time price, or more than the margin of safety price. So we did go over all of this in our last broadcast. So you can see here the 10 cap price per share, which would be $9. And right now, like I said, Twitter is being traded at $34. So definitely don't want to pay more than the 10 cap price. You also don't want to pay more than the payback time price, which is $11. And you don't want to pay more than the margin of safety price, which is $21.84. So there is a range there. I don't fully understand if they're saying that you shouldn't buy it if it's over $9, since that's the lowest amount of the three. But for me, because it's right now priced higher than even my highest price, I wouldn't buy it. It's $34. The margin of safety price is $22. So not quite right. But it does say that a reasonable price today would be $43.69, and you just cut that in half for your margin of safety. And I ran over all the math and how to do all this on my last broadcast, so feel free to check that out. Especially if you check it out on YouTube, because that'll help me to monetize on YouTube too. Thank you in advance for subscribing over on YouTube. Temporary issues making earnings and or free cash growth or losses abnormal. We've had a lot of abnormal numbers in the last 5 years for Twitter. Earnings per share growth is engineered via buybacks. So when the company buys back some of the shares from the shareholders, it will look like your earnings per share has gone up a lot, but it's kind of like a what do you call that? Like a mirage. Katie left YouTube because she's mad at me. I'm sorry. I love you, Katie. Future growth rate and future P/E estimates are not realistic. There is no event and no price drop. So you do not buy the company unless there is an event that causes the company to go on sale, and that event should be recoverable in more than 1 year, but less than 3. That's the rough amount of time that we want it. An event should be something that actually really hurts the company, but it's something that's not going to cause the company to die. It's just going to hurt them for a little while. Like when Chipotle had the E. coli scares, they had one scare and then they had another scare, and their stock took a big hit for that, but it only lasted a couple years and then it came right back up. So when it dropped, that was actually an opportunity to buy. The reason it dropped is because most people were selling. Because some of these day traders and these big investment companies, long term to them is like 90 days, not years, which is how we are talking about investing on this broadcast. Hey, Mark, thank you. Mark is like, I will take over Katie's spot on YouTube. Thank you, Mark H. I appreciate you. The price dropped, but not enough of an event to go on sale. The event produces significant fear, but may not resolve itself in 1 to 3 years. The event may permanently damage the business. Or, you can't understand the event. It's too complex. So all of these would be reasons that you would not purchase a stock, because that would be considered an expensive error. And these are expensive errors that all investors have made. Not maybe every single one, but all of these mistakes have been made and everyone survived them. So it's okay if you make a mistake, but it's important. There's actually a really great quote in here that I love. Avoid regret, but ruthlessly assess why you made that mistake. It's harder than it sounds. A lot harder. What did you miss? What did you learn? Not the easiest questions to answer. So again, I'll say that again. Avoid regret, but ruthlessly assess why you made that mistake. What did you miss? What did you learn? And that's good for anything in life, any mistakes, even outside of investing. You will pay 25% of taxes on short-term stocks. Yeah, John, taxes are a B, but they usually offset their gains with losses. So I don't know about day trading so much, but hey. It's still, the capital gains tax is still less than income tax. So we covered the expensive errors checklist. Squirrel, hey Troy, how are you? Thanks, Kay. Yeah, I'm having a good night. We're just about wrapping up here. 14,000 more hours to go. Only purchase stocks that you're familiar with the cycles of. That's what Mark says over on YouTube. Okay, I like it. So here, first, so now we're talking about inverting your argument. So you come up with all these reasons you want to buy the company, and then you invert it, aka you flip it on its head. So the principles of investing. So you create the story of your company based on the understanding of the company, based on the mission, based on its moats, based on its management, and based on what price it would be reasonable to get. So you have that to create your story, which I did with Twitter. Actually, hang on, before I switch over, let me pull it up. Twitter. Whoa, what is this? This isn't what I clicked. What? Nope, that's my investing wish list. All the companies I am going to be researching over the next few months. Okay, here we go. So this is kind of like a little bit of my notes on Twitter's story here. Like when it went public, a little bit about the CEO, some risks, some negative factors about the company, the different staff, the different management. I followed them all on Twitter as well. That's kind of the beauty of looking at Twitter, is that I can follow all of the board members and everyone because they all have Twitter accounts. I talked about the moats, and that's pretty much the story that I have for Twitter on my Google Docs. I use Google Docs and Google Sheets to create everything that I've pulled up on the screen so far. Free software. Thanks, bud tenders. And then the next step is to come up with 3 great reasons to own this company that relate to moat, management, or price. So I'm going to use her examples. She was looking at Whole Foods. Reason 1, it says, I trust the management implicitly. Reason 2, the brand moat will continue to provide high margins as consumers prefer Whole Foods above all other product providers. And reason 3, the industry will continue to grow fast and Whole Foods will be worth more in 10 years. So I just want to, before we get into inverting the argument, John Buzz has a great comment that I believe is what I was in the middle of talking about earlier and forgot. And thank you so much, John, for saying that. He said Twitter doesn't have dividends, though, which is absolutely true. The only reason that dividends are great because it reduces the basis that you have invested in the stock, which means that every time you get paid out dividends from the company, you have invested less money in that company. You've gotten that money back. So your risk is mitigated here and your returns are even more powerful. Now, once a company starts issuing dividends, it pretty much can never stop. If it ever stops paying out dividends to its investors, the investors may go into a panic and sell off the stock and think that that's, bad news. So a lot of companies will issue dividends right up until the day they declare bankruptcy, just to keep the investors happy and like everything is going fine. So it's okay if a company doesn't have dividends. It's not a make or break. If it pays out dividends, great, because it reduces your risk. Thank you, John, for asking that question. The next one is the event. Describe the event that has put this company on sale, and will it come out of it in not less than 1 and not more than 3 years? Then you invert your story. So you reason not to buy number 1. Mackey is old. So she's talking about Whole Foods. Mackey is old and new management has already demonstrated that they are not Mackey. Reason not to buy number 2. The brand moat is unsustainable because organic food is rapidly becoming a commodity sold at Costco, and the Whole Foods experience will suffer as the company tries to compete on price. And then 3, reason not to buy. This is her just flipping. She has 3 reasons to buy, and then she's just writing the opposites now. So reason 3 not to buy is that the industry will continue to grow fast, but Whole Foods' profit will shrink to conventional grocery store size and will be worth less in 10 years than it is today. Berkshire Hathaway doesn't have dividends and they're doing great. Thanks, Joel. All right, and then you rebut your inversion. So you invert your inversion. You come up with 3 great reasons to buy the company. You flip those upside down. You argue against them. You look for the holes in those arguments. And then you rebut the argument. So like your rebuttal, you go back, you fight back against the fight. And if you can do this successfully and you can go through everything on that expensive errors checklist and nothing is violated, then you can purchase the stock. And she kind of goes into her rebuttals. We don't need to get into it because we're not making an argument for Whole Foods here today. She gets into practice shares, doing like fantasy trading online. You can find services that do that. Not something I'm really interested in doing myself. And then they talk about when to sell. So we are almost at the end of this broadcast. Thank you guys for making it this far. The only time that you should, it's really simple. The only time you should sell a company is if the story of that company changes. So something changes with some of the moats, something changes with the management, something changes with the pricing, something changes in the story. But virtually, when we're purchasing these companies, we never intend to sell them. As long as that story stays the way it is when we buy it, we want to keep that company forever, virtually, because the power of compounding years out from today is so powerful and can make us wealthy in the future. But it's not, like I said in the beginning, this isn't a get rich quick scheme. This isn't something where you're going to be rich in the next 5 years from this. It's something where the longer you hold it, the more powerful it becomes, because a 10% growth on the money from today, if you keep getting a 10% return on that investment, or a 10% growth on that investment, 10 years from now, 15 years from now, 20 years from now, you don't have to, like we were talking about earlier with Josh, we won't have to work at Walmart when we're 80. We'll be able to live a comfortable, satisfying, fulfilled life into our old age when we can't work to generate income anymore. Make sense? Does anyone have any questions, any comments, any feedback for me? I know I kind of flew through a lot of information in the last hour and 23 minutes. I hope that I didn't overwhelm anyone, and I love to hear from you guys. I really want to hear your questions and feedback. If you're watching on the replay and you can't comment here, you can comment over on the YouTube video, or you can go over to my website, femyoga.com, and you'll see all the different ways you can contact me. Twitter and Instagram are probably the easiest. It's FemYogaTaylor on both of those. My name's Taylor. You can also support this channel and keep us going and growing on that website by clicking the support button, or you can go to streamlabs.com/femyoga. Thank you, bud tenders. I'm glad that you enjoyed the show. I hope you guys all enjoyed it as well. Let me say a big thank you to everybody that makes this show possible with the Super Hearts. Our top contributor of the broadcast was Josh. Again, he was top contributor on Ruby's broadcast last night too. Over 12,000 Super Hearts. Thank you, Josh. Thank you. That actually just got you bumped up from $25 to $30. Midnight Jazz, thank you for the Super Hearts in my favorite color, no less, orange. Thank you, Super Fro, for the Super Hearts. Oh, and Jazz went over 1,000 Super Hearts. Thank you. Georgie Boy over 4,000 Super Hearts. Appreciate you, man. Really good broadcast Georgie did yesterday of this like awesome Christmas winter wonderland. Oh my God, it was so intricate and huge, and just that was actually a really awesome broadcast. I shared it yesterday. I hope you guys saw it. Finley over 1,000 Super Hearts as well. Same thing as Abdullah, actually the same amount. Thank you guys for the Super Hearts. Thank you, Tanisha, for the Super Hearts. Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you, Tyla. I love seeing all the girls getting involved in the investment broadcast. Spasiba Alex for the Super Hearts. Thank you, Mark, one of our monthly sponsors. Thank you, Sonam and Colin. You guys are awesome. Remember, if you do go to the website and click support, if you subscribe for monthly sponsorships of the channel, you'll be entered to win $100 in 8 days. So on the 17th of every month that you're enrolled as a monthly sponsor, we give away $100 cash just to say thank you for supporting us consistently like that. It helps us to plan ahead when we know roughly how much to expect each month, and it helps you to keep your budget managed as well. So it's a win-win. We always want to think win-win, right? Like, oh my God, who's Stephen Covey, the guy who wrote 7 Habits of Highly Successful People? Always think win-win. Good night, Donna. I'm actually going to come back live and do a little celebration because we finally got through this book, and it's Friday night and I'm all dressed up. So let's have a beer or 2 or 3, or two. 2 is fine. I had 2 last night. I woke up this morning. I was like, 2 is enough. I bought some Wolf Pup at the store today. I think Donna was there for that private broadcast. So I'll be live probably just on my phone after this. I won't be on YouTube and Twitch because I am uncomfortable in this chair. I prefer the couch downstairs. Donna, you want me to call you now? You already know. I'll text you, and then if you need a call, maybe we'll do a call tomorrow because it's already late and I already have a lot of beer drinking to do. I love you. 2 is enough. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, everyone, for letting me shoot off the cash cannons with over 20,000 super hearts in this broadcast. Billy, this is probably my favorite book I've read in a while. The book we just went over in this broadcast. I'm currently reading the book called The Only Investment Guide You'll Ever Need by Andrew Tobias. It's pretty good. I'm not even halfway through it though, so we'll see. And I'm reading some other books right now that I'll share with you guys over the next couple of months. But Three's Company. Are you talking about beer? Matthew? Matthew. I love when you guys get feisty on a Friday night. #Friday feeling. All right, you guys are amazing. I'll be live in just a few minutes with some beer. I hope you guys will join me in having some healthy beverages of your own. Definitely no pressure to drink alcohol. Have some water. Stay hydrated. Make sure there's no hair on your back tickling you. And smile. Remember, 3 positive things for every 1 positive, and you'll be on that upward spiral. And I hope that if you have money in your savings account, please, please, please consider investing it. Even if you're just doing mutual funds and IRAs and you don't want to get into the stock market, please just start looking into finance, learn more about the world of finance, and don't let your money be wasted. Okay? Thanks for watching. This has been A Moment in Time with Taylor. I will see you soon, Aaron and everyone else. Bye. Is that the right button? That doesn't seem right. That don't seem right. Why is it like that? That's not what it's supposed to do. Let's try if we actually click it and go like that. There it is. That's how it's supposed to look. What's going on with the outro lately? I don't know, guys. I don't know. But I do know that it's time for Wolf Pup.